Good afternoon. I'm speaking to you live just outside
I like to think balding is just God's way of saying, now let's see you get laid.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it?
What I'd really like to do is put the greatness of this man in perspective.
The hair loss community has a lot to be thankful for, having you as a spokesperson.
You mean you just call this guy up?
About life and about reality.
And now, America's #1 reality radio show for men. Live from Los Angeles, it's Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Well, welcome to the party, Joe.
Welcome to the party, Spencer.
How are you?
What's going on? I'm hearing feedback here.
I don't know what's going on.
There we go.
But I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you're here.
Playback.
Did
you get your post made?
I am. I made my post on Instagram to let everyone know that Joe's late again.
Only took him 20 minutes.
Okay. Another little dig. I'm just going to file it away.
Got it.
Guys, welcome to the broadcast. I'm Spencer Kobren, live from Los Angeles. I'm the founder of the American Hair Loss Association, author of The Bald Truth and The Truth About Women's Hair Loss, my partner in crime, and that is not actual crime for all the detractors and haters out there. That's just a term of endearment. Joe Tillman, live in Vancouver, British Columbia, the original hair transplant mentor. We are here to provide you guys with a platform to talk about anything and everything hair loss. We don't sell shit. We got nothing to sell you. So if you're looking to buy a product or find a service to treat your hair loss, we're not in that game. We're here to guide you safely and navigate you through this insanely fucked up industry. This over $4 billion a year industry now, which it's slated to be like, I don't know, $8 billion in the next 2 years, of just a dark, black, ugly place where the majority of people in the industry are taking advantage of vulnerable people like us, like you, who are dealing with hair loss. If you are trying to figure out what to do and you're scrolling down your social media feeds, you're going to see all types of happy horse shit. And honestly, nothing has really changed that much as far as the bullshit being peddled in the last 20 or 30 years, except it's now being peddled on scale, directly into your feeds, whether you're looking for it or not. If you've ever looked at anything related to hair loss, they're going to find you. They're going to figure it out. They're going to get you in a vulnerable point after about, half a bottle of Jack Daniels and just being rejected at the bar. And then you're fucking toast.
Yep. You know what's sick about that is they're recycling the same, not just the same methods to attract patients, but also the same products from 20 years ago, saying it's the latest and greatest. There's nothing new in this industry. Absolutely nothing new. It's all recycled stuff from 10 years ago or 15 years ago or 30 years ago, both in the marketing, just maybe a different slant, and even the products, the way they describe things. And what's sad is in 2022, the state of the hair surgery industry is worse. The bar of excellence has dropped. It's the only industry I know of in general, but specifically medicine.
Weight loss
has gone backward.
Weight loss is pretty close, I'd say. There's just so many diets, so much confusion out there for the weight loss industry. But yes, this is the worst. What's fucked up about this is that you're not just losing money and time. There's a good chance, especially if you're moving forward with surgery, that you're going to be disfigured. 7 out of 10 hair transplant patients that contact us, through the American Hair Loss Association or the IHRS, range from being dissatisfied to disfigured. That's not just a catchy fucking phrase. That's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's catchy. But it's the truth. 7 out of 10. Imagine that. You all right, Joe?
Hey, sorry, Spencer, Yeah, take the camera off me. I'm about to lose my camera, I think. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Joe's about to lose his camera. He'll be right back. But that's the reality of this field. So, I come out here and I talk about it all the time. I talk about the same shit week in, week out for 24 years, almost a quarter of a century. And as, excuse me, as the industry has devolved, and as I have been in this field for so long, and we've been in the trenches for a very long time, we were able to get to a point where, at the very least, a larger percentage of people were able to find the products and services that actually work. Very few. And they don't work for everybody. And then all of a sudden, bam, all hell breaks loose. And I think Joe's texting me. And we lost again. We are lost in a land of bullshit in this field. So, lines are open. Phone number is 888-659-3727. Looks like Joe got his camera working again, but we'll see. And what I'm going to do is just take your calls. If you have any questions or concerns about hair loss, if you have hair transplant surgery scheduled for Monday, or you're about to get on a plane to fucking Turkey to have a hair transplant, call us. Let us at least know what your plans are. Let us give you a little dose of reality. And look, you never know. You may have chosen a great surgeon overseas. It's possible. Even though there's 10, possibly. But it's possible that out of the 1,000 some odd clinics in Turkey that currently exist, that you were able to find that fucking needle in a haystack, and you're going to come away not being disfigured. Or you're going to come away at least having the possibility of a long-term positive outcome. Because a lot of guys you see online, they may look okay, kind of okay at the beginning after their first surgery. But as soon as they need another one, all of a sudden, like, oh, you got no more donor. Sorry, you're fucked for life. Don't know why the other surgical team didn't tell you that this is going to be your only surgery. So good luck with all the 10,000 scars in the back of your head. We'll see you later.
Thanks for coming.
Am I too cynical at this point in my life?
No, I don't think so.
How's my hair?
It's outstanding, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's just a continuous decline into a bucket of shit. That's what's going on.
On that note, let's take a phone call.
Let's do it.
I'm a little hoarse today. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello, gentlemen. This is Dave from Brooklyn.
Dave from Brooklyn, New York.
Dave.
How are you, my man?
Gentlemen, I'm wonderful. How are you?
You know what? Can't complain, man.
Very good.
Great.
Very good.
I have a quick question, and I'll be out of here as fast as I came in.
I appreciate that.
Well, here's my question about finasteride. Now, let's say on average, finasteride blocks, let's say 65% of DHT. Would that be more or less the case?
It can be. It can be about that. Yeah, up to 70%. Sure.
Okay, so would it be logical to say that if 70% of the DHT is blocked, then over the course of, say, 100 months, you're avoiding 70% of would-be hair loss, and you're only getting 30% of the damage. So in 100 months, you could say, I only lost 30 months worth of hair, and I saved 70 months. Does that make sense, or is that just too broad?
That seems like it would be logical, but here's the thing. Your body may only need a 50% of reduction of DHT for you to be genetically essentially immune or just immune from miniaturization. So
I see.
It really depends. And that's why I believe, and again, we're not doctors, that finasteride is dose dependent. It's my view based on 25 years experience in the field. So there are those who their genetics are just so strong, they can blow towards their asses with. They could be on dutasteride and minoxidil and all kinds of shit. They're still going to go bald. There's no helping these people. That's the way it is.
Right. Yeah. Right, and the only reason I ask is because I hear so many stories of men saying they were losing their hair, and here they are 15 years later, and they still have it with the finasteride. And I thought, well, if you would have lost your hair, let's say, in a 10-year span, then it makes sense that, if it's blocking it by that much, that it would literally take 30 years to get to where you would be if you had not taken it, if you go by that 70%.
I understand that, and there's a certain logic to that, because we know that for the most part, this is still just kind of, and I'm allowed to use the word in this context, retarding the process. It's slowing the miniaturization process. So I'm a fine example of that. I've been on the drug for 30 years. Just got out of the shower, did my hair, and I'm noticing, that in general, when my hair is wet, even in the donor area, in the back, it's see-through now, where it wasn't just 10 years ago. Now, does it look significantly different when I dry my hair? No, it doesn't. I have to paint a little bit more. So my process has been slowed down. I started at 21 years old. I'm going to be 57. So it's been slowed down tremendously, but it's still progressing.
Right.
So what do I do? Do I up my dosage eventually? I probably will, and maybe that'll help me.
Yeah.
But we just don't know.
Yeah. Right. Well, gentlemen, please continue doing the great work you do. And for the guys listening, if you have a finger, you can press that like button, guys. If you have a finger, and I'm pretty sure most of you do.
Dave,
gentlemen,
that's
have
awesome.
a great
Thank
one.
you.
Dave, you're the best.
Dave, before you go,
Yeah.
I did want to jump in and say that you need to understand that in pharmacology, it isn't linear when it comes to the desired effect. So what you're talking about, it makes sense if there's a linear relationship, and it's directly dependent on the percentages of reduction, but that's just not the way it works. But the other thing I wanted to say is you're talking about guys that are saying they've been, they're losing their hair, and 10 years later they're still saying they're losing their hair, but it doesn't really look much different. Is that where you brought that up as a discussion point?
Yeah, it's just been retarded maybe by 70%. Is that what
You said retarded.
Seeing?
He said retarded. Well, the other thing to keep in mind is there are a lot of people out there that say that they're losing their hair, and they're not actually losing their hair. They're just noticing the normal growth cycle where some of the hair goes into telogen, and they see it, in their hands in the shower or in the sink or whatever, and they start losing their shit. Oh God, I'm losing my hair. It's like technically yes, but you're not actually losing your hair as far as male pattern hair loss. It's just the natural cycle. And sometimes it'll look thinner, sometimes it'll feel thinner, sometimes it'll start looking thicker again without having added any sort of medication or treatment to fight the hair loss. But there are a lot of guys out there that are throwing, everything that they can at it, and they're still saying, I'm losing my hair, and they're not actually losing their hair. Or if they are, in the spirit of male pattern hair loss, it's very slow.
Right, and I always say
what
I'm sorry.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and guys, I always say after listening to you for so long, I probably know more about hair transplants than 90% of the population. Yet I still know less than 1% of what you guys know.
Well, that's I appreciate that, man. But you know what? You actually probably know a hell of a lot. Probably pretty close to what we know at this point, because we let it all hang out.
Gentlemen, I love listening to you. Have a wonderful weekend, and please continue doing everything you do. We love it.
We're going to keep trying, Dave. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the call.
Bye-bye. Bye. Guy's got a mellifluous voice. I can listen to that motherfucker all day. I'm going to call him to see when I have insomnia, because it's so soothing. Not that you put me to sleep, Dave.
You have a mellifluous vocabulary every time he calls.
That's true. I guess that would be a smooth. That's true. Because he does. It's just that's the word for it, man. It's unbelievable. He should be on the air. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from? Hey, caller.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, where are you calling from, man?
Outside of Washington, D.C.
Okay. Where's outside of Washington, D.C.? Bethesda, Rockville, where you at?
You know Fairfax County?
I do.
Just across the river from, just south of Arlington, I guess.
Okay, I used to live in Bethesda for a short period of time and during my heavy drinking years. Great place. Great strip clubs, by the way, back then. I was 21 years old.
No kidding.
Yeah. So what's up?
Right. Well, I called about, it must be 15 to 20 years ago by now, when you were on the radio on Sunday nights.
How many years ago? Did you say 50?
15, maybe.
Oh, okay.
10, at least.
Yeah. Also, you used to listen to the show on WJFK in D.C.
That's right.
All right.
So I've been trying to find you more recently and listen to your podcast live. But first of all, my Chrome browser and Internet Explorer has thebaldtruth.com blacklisted. So,
really?
I don't know if you knew about that, but it always stops me from connecting.
Right now?
So I've had, I could try it again now, but I've been trying, the last few weeks. Let's see here.
That's not good.
Baldtruth.com.
Way to go, Spencer.
Works this time. Oh, son of a gun. Now it's working. Of course. No, wait a minute. That was baldtruthtalk.com. That works. You want me to actually try baldtruth.com?
The Bald Truth.
Yeah.
Not Bald Truth. The Bald Truth.
Oh, maybe that's it. Okay. We've aborted connection on thebaldtruth.com because it was on the URL blacklist. And this is antivirus card popping up this morning.
That's really weird. I have no problem getting into it. Do you have any problem getting into it, Joe?
Not at all.
You don't use, maybe it must just be antivirus guard, that product. Okay, maybe it's just me then.
It might be just you, but it's good to know. So the name of the product is what? Antivirus Guard?
Yeah, AVG for short. Let's see.
Oh, AVG. Okay, I know that one. Yeah.
I'll tell my guy. It's possible that I have to just update the archaic site since it has been updated since the Civil War. So it's very possible.
Oh, is that it? There it is. Yeah, actually, I think it might be called AVG Antivirus Free. That seems to come up.
Okay, well, you can go to youtube.com/hair transplant mentor, and you can watch the show live.
That's what I eventually figured out. What I was doing was going to the, the unupdated website on my smartphone, because that could connect to it, and it says watch live, but it would never come on live when I was there.
Oh.
So eventually I figured out. I tried looking at your channel, the Bald Truth channel on YouTube.
Nothing on
and
there.
That never worked. And finally, I found the Hair Transplant Mentors page, which is
all right. So we figure it out. Here you are.
Yay!
So what's happening?
And the other problem is, the website says it's 5 p.m. on Fridays Eastern Standard Time, but it's really more like 6.
Oh, damn it!
Joe,
can you change that? Here's the thing, my man. What's your name again?
Steve.
Steve. Sorry about that. I'm very forgetful in my old age. Steve, I have been kind of like in semi-retirement for a long time, and I have not been paying much attention to anything. And Joe Tillman has kind of pulled me into this the last 5 years. And I do it. I do the show with him, and I love speaking to you guys, and I keep things going. But I have not been really on top of our game. However, I did promise everybody this year that that's going to change. So, believe it or not, just uploaded a new podcast to Spotify and iTunes. We will be updating the Bald Truth site. We are also now streaming on different websites like hairlosscure.com 2020, is that it?
2020.
.com.
HairLossCure2020.com. Yep.
And I think you're on the UK forum, is that right? Now? Are you going to be?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay. Anyway, so we're going to get our shit together this year. But I'm glad that you found me. But I do miss being on the radio because you know what? That was great. You drive down to the station. They turn on the shit for you. You sit behind the mic. You take phone calls. You go home and you get drunk. That was it. That's all I had to do. And a lot of people listen.
Sometimes getting drunk before the show.
Or on the show.
Or on the show. Of course, we used to do that. But
anyway, so welcome, man.
Right.
So you're an old-time listener. So how old are you now?
56.
Jesus Christ, man. All my listeners are dying off. Oh, we're the same age.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, I'm not happy about it either.
So what's happened? We were young men when you used to listen to me. That must have been wild. Did you listen like on your way home? Did you listen in secret in your like basement? Did your wife know?
I just listened alone in my probably my bedroom.
Yeah, crying like every other guy who listened on Sunday nights.
Yeah, I think it was at 10 p.m. or something. So
it was at 11 o'clock Sunday nights, coast to coast. JFK was a great fucking station, man. I loved being on that station. We got a lot of listeners from there. Sold a lot of books. So what's up, man? So you've been listening for a long time. Obviously, I'm assuming you've been on finasteride all this time, right?
Well, no, that's Propecia?
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. Okay. Yeah, I was on that for many years, and then a few years ago, I went off of it. I wasn't having real great results anyway. Still noticeably bald. Still losing it, you know. And I was worried about side effects, so doctor suggested I just go off of it.
Now, you were worried about side effects, like you were having side effects, or you were just concerned that you could have side effects?
I guess it was more like concerned I could be having side effects.
Okay.
All right. I don't have any evidence.
Okay.
But
so what can we do for you?
Right. Finally get it. I need to ask my baldness question.
That's okay.
Well, since I haven't been a listener for many years, I may have just missed the answers to these questions. So if so, you can just tell me to go look it up somewhere. But about this whole hair cloning thing, back then, you were saying that you thought it would be ready in like 5 years, and that they had managed.
I'm sorry. That's what we were all trained to say back in the day. We didn't fucking know. Everyone was telling us 5 years, 5 years. Every expert that I spoke with, every academic, everyone who was looking into it, everyone who claimed they were getting close, everyone who was trying to get press so that they were able to get more funding for their fucking labs. It was all bullshit. We were all conned, my man. So, in my view. So here's what I can tell you. Everything will be ready in 5 years. I'm just kidding. I think...
That's what I thought.
I think we're getting closer for sure. There are a couple of companies that are, getting closer. One in particular got some pretty significant funding from a pharmaceutical company, and the name of that company is Stemson Therapeutics. I think they are probably in a position to at least move forward in a very productive way. And they're not being self-funded. So, and, investors want their fucking money. So I think that these guys have a little fire under their asses. And so there may be a cellular process that could be available in the next 4 or 5 years. But man, who knows? And, and also there's a lot of people who are working on things where, for other diseases, and we're starting to see that, maybe there could be some luck involved where we may just stumble onto something. But as of today, there is nothing that has really changed much since we last spoke or you last listened to the show 15 years ago.
One thing that I was thinking that I had to ask or wonder about, the whole thing with Alderaan's, and they had those YouTube videos about being able to achieve organogenesis, I think it was called.
Neogenesis.
Actually create.
Hair neogenesis. Yeah.
The idea of the hair, the organ of a hair follicle being formed out of, skin cells. So it was like a stem cell thing or something. But that was just so radical. I know that, that's almost a holy grail of science to be able to create a new organ. And that, I guess what I'm getting at, is it possible that was all just made up?
No,
They weren't really able to get anywhere near that.
No, I don't think it was all made up. I think that they had some solid science behind it. They had some good research behind it. They were making progress, but Alderaan's decided to abandon the project because it was costing them too much money, probably, or they felt that they have shareholders that they have to answer to, and I guess they felt they needed to make a business decision that it wasn't worth it at this point. But a company like Stemson Therapeutics, they're moving in that direction as well, using pluripotent. What are they called, Joe? Help me out.
Pluripotent stem cells.
Right. So it's the same type of idea where they believe they'll be able to inject these cells into your scalp once they're modified, and you will start to grow hair, which would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But we are not there yet. So what can I do for you today? Like right now, what can I help you with?
Well, and the other thing that maybe you've already talked about this and I just missed it, but the laser cap thing, is there any good evidence that works? Some YouTubers say it does.
Well, whoever the YouTubers are that say it works, they're being paid to say that it works.
And they're probably offering a discount code if you order it. Mention the code that they provide to you for a 10% discount.
Now, it's not to say that when I decide to sell out, you're not going to see me bopping around the internet and wearing a helmet with lights on it. It's very possible. But at this stage, here's what I can tell you. I believe that low-level laser light therapy has its merits, but you have to have the right, frequency, the right type of lasers, and maybe a mix of lasers and red lights. There is a prescription cap. Basically, it's only sold in physicians' offices. It's called laser cap. It's a little more expensive. There have been a significant amount of people that have come back, and this is all anecdotal. I've seen some results, but again, pictures could be deceiving. But I think that's probably your best bet if you're going to go in that direction. I never tell people that should be your first line of attack. I definitely believe in, and again, I'm not a doctor, in treating with medication first. But I have seen some decent results with the right laser caps.
Oh.
So 15 years ago, I would have told you it was bullshit. But,
So that's changed.
I've evolved because I've seen it. You're around long enough, you start to see that, maybe this does work to some degree. Now, is it going to take a Norwood 5 to a Norwood 2? No. Is it good for people who are in the miniaturization process, who want to kind of, keep what they have so it doesn't get any worse? I've seen some good results. I've seen people maintain and regrow some hair without any other medication or any other treatment, just using the laser cap. But I haven't seen any miracles, if that's what you're looking for. And it sounds like you're 56, you've been listening to me for 15 years, you might need a miracle. Right? Am I right about
funny,
that?
That might be, yeah, sure.
What do I need to give you some caffeine, man? What's going on?
Oh well, no, I'm just absorbing, and it's funny that you would say that. I just had a miracle, like maybe they can have a genetically modified pigs grow human hair, like they did with a human heart, and get a transplant.
What's interesting now is that the next phase of testing for stem cell therapeutics will be on pigs. So they are not being genetically modified, but they are testing the process out. So. I think what you should do is continue to tune in. We're going to take some more calls. It's great to hear an old school listener, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that you. I'm sorry that you had to struggle to find us, which is really my fault because, like I said, I'm kind of semi-retired. But we're going to be out there more this year. And now that you know where we are, I hope you listen every week. And if you have any more questions, give us a call.
Subscribe to the channel.
I should point out.
Subscribe to this channel, and then click the bell next to it and enable all notifications so you get notified when we're live again.
Okay. I should point out that the video I'm watching right now on YouTube, on the Hair Transplant channel, the text underneath it says that it's on Fridays, or not Fridays, but it says 5 p.m. So it's not an outdated website. The current text underneath the current video is saying 5 p.m.
Again,
and you're on at 6.
Joe's fault again.
That's what I'm
That
thinking.
is
not
human error.
I'm not blaming.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Spence.
No, dude, come on.
No,
You've known me for
blaming
how
me.
long?
It's fine.
How long have you known me through the radio? I'm just joking around with you. Don't worry about it. We could take it. I like hearing this stuff. It's important. It's important that we know this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Steve, listen, I appreciate the call. I'm glad that you found us. And if you have any questions, you need any more information, feel free to call us next week. We'll be here.
Okay, thanks for taking my call.
All right, brother.
Glad you're still.
Take care. Yep, I'm still alive, and I appreciate it.
Sure.
Take it easy.
Right.
Bye.
All right, bye.
888-659-3727. Guy thought I was dead. He can't even get on my website.
He's nitpicking the description on the on the channel.
No,
it says 5.
He's right about that.
It says 5.
We should know that. But
I know.
That's the first time I heard it.
I know.
That's the first time I heard that someone couldn't get to the website because they had some sort of a firewall or whatever. What is it called?
A viral.
Viral, yeah. Because I have that
blacklist.
too.
Yeah. Get that shit fixed, man. I'm telling you. And by the way, just saw your text message response when I said I'm firing up my system.
What'd I say?
That was good. You said go F yourself.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from? Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. This is Sam from Chicago. Can you hear me?
Barely, man. Where are you calling from?
From Chicago. Chicago, Illinois.
Dude, bad connection, man. Where are you calling? How are you calling us? Are you using like Skype or some shit?
Smartphone. Using smartphone from my iPhone.
All right, maybe put
You're
your
on speakerphone.
Yeah, take the speaker off. Put it to your.
I'm on the earpods. Apple earpods.
Take the AirPods out. Speaking to your phone.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Much better.
Okay.
AirPods, in my view, suck. Just saying. So what's up? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Sam. I'm calling from Chicago, and
Sam, we're losing you, man. What's up? We're gonna have to drop the call if we can't hear you.
It just switched over to his AirPods again.
All right, Sam. I'm gonna give you 1 second to disconnect your Bluetooth and just speak through the phone. Okay, 3 seconds.
Next.
All right, dude. Call's back. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hi, guys. This is Ali.
Ali.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, where are you
Hello,
calling
Ali.
from?
Yes.
Hi, guys. So I'm from Qatar. I'm actually calling you guys from Paris. I'm on a work related sort of like trip.
You're a jet setter.
I'm just
Welcome.
wondering, have you guys ever had any callers from Qatar?
I don't.
Bonjour. That's about
Have
the
we had a
only word I
caller
know,
from Qatar?
French.
I think we have, haven't we? One.
We
Was
used,
it
we
you?
used to get. Actually, no. It was Harry or Hariri. He's in Qatar.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, not cool.
Yeah,
I'm not the
yeah.
first.
We've actually had. Yeah. You're not the first,
Damn.
but
All
we
right.
appreciate you just the same.
But we'll see. Maybe the best. So let's go. What's up?
Yes. Just to let you know, guys, I really appreciate what you do. Honestly, I'm gonna try not to take too much of your time. I visited a doctor just today, actually, kind of get advice on my hair situation. I'm 28. At the age of 21, I experienced hair loss for the first time. I got really paranoid because I had really like a thick head of hair. I hopped onto finasteride oral, 1 mg per day for about 6 months. It halted my hair loss, but I also experienced some side effects, unfortunately, and those included, reduced libido, and my cum was kind of watery. Actually,
How dare you? This is a family-friendly show.
My God, what
Well,
the fuck's
I'm
wrong,
sorry.
man?
I'm sorry. Are you guys joking? I hope you're joking.
Oh, we are
I hope
joking.
you're joking.
We are joking.
Totally
My
joking.
semen was watery.
My daughter talks about that stuff all the time.
My fluids were watery. I apologize.
Dude,
There
come
you
on.
go.
Just fucking with you.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, actually, one girl that I was with, it was kind of embarrassing. She actually noted it out. She's like, "Hey, well, how come your cum is watery this time?" I'm like, "Okay."
I thought you were going to say she asked for some ice cubes.
What?
So yeah, my hair got better, much reduced shedding in the shower overall. But yeah, I had to stop. I couldn't stay on it. I was really paranoid, especially with all of the online shit that you see people really basically saying that finasteride is responsible for all sorts of problems in their lives, and I got really paranoid, honestly, and I had to stop it, and I did. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stick to minoxidil 5%, which I've been taking for like 8 years now, maybe, or 7 years. And at this point, my hair is just not really as thick as it was. I look at my old pictures and it really hurts. I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm not at Nord 3 even. I'm probably Nord 2. And the most hair I've lost, I'd say, is in my hairline. So, long story short, I was at this point I was just open to getting off finasteride again. So I went to this doctor today to ask him what he thought about maybe a topical formulation of finasteride, and he said he had no clue. Not no clue, but he basically had no experience with it. Here in France, for some reason, they don't even prescribe it. I think they're prohibited from doing that. So he didn't want to comment on that. And I did ask him also about oral finasteride, whether or not it would be a good idea to maybe take it again, but at a lower dose. And he said, look, if you got side effects at 1 milligram, you're probably going to have side effects at 25 milligrams. And that brings me to the first question, maybe, or advice I'd like to get from you guys. Like, do you guys think that is an accurate statement? That if I took maybe 0.25, I'd for sure have the same side effects?
We're not doctors.
The case?
We're not doctors, but if you listen to us for a while, we both have a lot of experience as far as guys coming to us with similar issues, and I do not take the word of most physicians as gospel. There is a certain dogma out there when it comes to this drug not being dose dependent, and also that if you've had such side effects on such a small relative or the normal dose, you're saying you're on 1 milligram a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that you're going to react in the same way. I think that's bullshit. I'm not telling you to risk your life or your health to go back on it, but I do not believe that that's the case. That's just my opinion as a layman, but also as an expert in this field. Joe?
Okay.
I think the alternative is consider topical. Well, you're just talking about topical, right?
Yeah. I was actually gonna
Okay, yeah.
get into it. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And that's a great alternative for sure.
Yeah. And you were saying that it's hard, or this guy that you're seeing now, he's not prescribing it for you. He's not able to.
He's unable to. But I think there are many websites where I can get it from, and that brings me to the second question. Like, is there a particular kind of well, one thing I'd like to note is I don't think there exists any compounding pharmacies that can make this in Qatar, because I'm only here for about 2 weeks and I'll be back home. So I guess my only bet, if I really want to go down the topical finasteride route, is to get it online, I guess. And there's this website called Minoxidil Max or something that I found referenced on a YouTube channel. And honestly, guys, I went on it and I bought like three bottles, and I thought I'd give it a try. I may have rushed that decision because I was like, by myself in the hotel room panicking again. And
yeah,
I don't know. Do you guys? Have you ever heard of that website?
Maybe. I mean, there's thousands of those websites out there where they use the name minoxidil, so it's hard to keep track of them. But back to the supply issue, getting topical finasteride. It's tough because I don't know of anyone in Qatar. I know of one guy in the Middle East, actually two. There's Dr. Shadi, I think, in Saudi.
Arabia. Yeah.
He might be able to help you.
He's on your recommendation list, right? On your website.
He's an IHRS. I think he's an associate member. He might be able to help you with that. And then there's another doctor in Beirut. That's really good. I really like this guy, Dr. Jabai. He's outstanding, and he's really into non-surgical treatments. Jabai, Jebai. He's got a clinic called J Clinic. Jebai, I believe.
Jebai. All right. Cool. Thanks.
And then I was trying to think of who I know of in France, and I remember that during Global Hair Loss Summit 2020 and also 2021, we had some doctors that were French that were talking about non-surgical treatments. I don't remember if they were talking about topical finasteride specifically. I can't remember who they were, but there are several doctors in Europe. There's a couple in Spain. It's escaping me right now.
Anybody
call
in
back
Belgium
next week?
Because I could probably take a train to Belgium, like real quick.
Yeah. Okay. Get a hold of Dr. Bazanga. Or get a hold of the clinic first. Don't go there first expecting he's got it. But contact the clinic and tell them you're interested in an assessment, and ask them their opinion on topical finasteride. Don't tell them that you're going in just for a topical finasteride assessment or a prescription, because most clinics don't want to bring you in just to write you a prescription. They're there to perform surgery, and then the medication is in case you're not it's a great way to enhance your hair, to keep your hair steady for eventual surgery. But if you call up and say, yeah, I want a topical finasteride prescription, most clinics will say, go see your family doctor. So it's a good idea to get an assessment by Dr. Bazanga. He's a fantastic doctor. He's an IHRS accepted member as well, longtime member. And if you do wind up getting surgery down the road, he's an awesome option for you on not just the medical front, but also the surgical front. So if you can get on a train to Belgium, that's where you can go.
Dr. Bazanga. How do you spell that, Joe?
Bisanga. There's also Dr. Ferradouni, who's also in Belgium, in Brussels. And there's also Dr. Mwamba in Brussels.
The last one is Dr.
Mwamba,
Mwamba.
M-W-A-M-B-A.
M-W-A-E-M-B-A.
M as in Mary, W, A, M as in Mary, B, A. Mwamba.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. I really appreciate that. I'll probably contact all of them actually and see.
Okay.
If they can see me soon.
I will tell you. I think you are the best caller from Qatar. By the way.
That's
you won the prize, man.
I'm blushing.
All right, listen. I hope we were able to help you. I hope Joe was able to help you because I was busy texting with one of my bitches. But sorry, am I allowed to say that on the air?
There's so many directions I could go with that.
That's something a misogynist would say. Crying out loud. Not me.
That's only if you're talking about a woman.
Oh, no homo. All right, man. Listen,
homo.
Good luck. I hope Joe was able to give you the right advice. I am a fan of, or I'm a believer of taking finasteride, taking it as far as it's being dose dependent. Geez, I can't think. I believe that that's the case. I don't believe that you will necessarily have adverse side effects. I'm not a doctor. If you decide to go and take the pill again and take it, at a smaller dosage, but we also know that topical works well.
Okay.
All right, man.
I really appreciate your help.
All right,
guys.
Good luck, man. Take
Thank
care.
you very much.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye.
Thanks for calling. But not completely without side effects, as we're seeing.
That is true. I also do not believe that you avoid all possibility of side effects by using topical finasteride. I personally think that's bullshit.
I've always suspected, and then this recent case that I sent to you, I was pretty honestly it's a pretty rare side effect to begin with. But when I saw a topical finasteride inducing this side effect, I was pretty surprised, honestly.
What, boobs?
Yeah, bitch tits.
How do we know it was really gyno? How do we know the guy didn't just gain weight?
We don't. But it's
Yeah.
been over the course of, I think, 6 weeks. So that'd be a lot of heavy eating.
Just a lot of hairspray today. All right, let's take a call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from? Hey, caller.
Hi, this is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, this is Sam from Chicago. Sorry, I had to.
Hello, Sam.
I dropped off earlier.
Oh, I'm glad you're able to get back on. Welcome, Sam.
Sounds so much better now. Thank you for calling back.
Yeah, no problem. And thank you guys. You guys share a lot of good information. I am just really kind of, feel sad that I didn't find you guys early on. Because, if I would have probably saved a lot of my hairs.
Well, I'm sorry too, but, that's the way it is in this world, man. I'm glad you found us now.
Right. So, kind of my story started like 10, 11 years ago when I was like around 30 years. And I started losing hair. And I visited Bosley, hair transplant center
Strike one.
in Philadelphia. Sorry, what was that?
Strike one. Sorry.
Strike one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so at that time, I was pretty kind of like, very, very initial stages. And then they wanted to do surgery, but they said, like, you can also take Propecia, which will help you to kind of save your donor. And then I was pretty naive. I didn't really know much about Propecia, but, I just went to the pharmacy, I got it, and then started taking it. down the year, like 1 year, around like 12 months, 13 months, and I started seeing the side effects. And
which side effects?
At that moment,
be specific.
Basically, erectile dysfunction.
Okay. Now, how did you notice it? It's just like you weren't waking up with wood, or you were trying to have sex and it wasn't working?
No, I just kind of generally felt it. It wasn't really like something that I was intentionally trying to do. Like, you kind of feel it, right? You know when it's not happening for you, right?
So basically you're saying that, like, your libido was down, you just weren't feeling sexual?
Yes.
Okay.
I
mean, Joe could probably speak to that better than me. I'm kidding, Joe. Take a joke.
You weren't there.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that? And I'm sorry, what's your name again?
Sam.
Sam. What's interesting about that is it's, later in my career, the first 10, 15 years, I never really heard about guys getting adverse side effects later on in their treatment. It was always within the first, month or 3 weeks or so of treatment. Now it seems to be more common. And I don't know. Let me ask you this. Were you taking brand name finasteride or Proscar or Propecia?
I was taking Propecia.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like, it seems like it's a more recent phenomenon, like the last 5 years, and I don't know why that is. But go ahead. It's interesting. I'm sorry that happened to you.
So, no, I think my hair was kind of getting really thick at that time, and the moment I saw side effects, I kind of gave up on it, and I was like, quit cold turkey. I was like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm still single. I still have to have a kid and family, so that could be problematic for me. So not being so educated on it, I just left it there, and I decided like I would rather go bald than have all these adverse side effects. So after since then I've been losing hair, but recently I got a little bit more educated on it, and then went to the doctor. He kind of like told me like you can stop losing by using finasteride or Propecia, and I told him the story that I've seen the side effects, so I don't really want to take it. So that happened after a year or so. Then I got kind of started doing the research that okay, maybe there is a way for me to get back on it and then save some of the hairs that I have left. And I realized somebody was proposing, like, try taking 3 milligram, 3 times a week with the day gap, and then see if that, slow down your side effects. So that I've been doing for like last 4-5 months, and I don't really see any side effects. But this time I'm taking generic finasteride. I'm not taking Propecia.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
And are you noticing that you are improving in any way? Did you just say that?
I am. It seems like that way, but I'm close to Norwood 6, so it's hard to say. But overall, it looks better than when I started.
That's great.
I started because I reached out to Hassan and Wong about the hair transplant to see if I can get some. So I have very realistic expectations from hair transplant. I just want to have some illusion of hair in the front, and I seem to have a good donor area in the back. But whatever I have left.
What does that mean when you say an illusion of hair in the front?
You look good on the Zoom.
Okay. But how is it an illusion? There's either hair there or there's not. And I don't mean to bust your balls in this, but I think it's important to be clear on this, because a lot of people that are listening, they're like, oh yeah, an illusion of hair. What does that mean? Is it you actually want hair to be there, or you want there to be something that's an illusion of hair? Density, coverage, the mere existence of hair. What are you looking for?
mere existence of hair, right? When you look in the mirror, you don't see like yourself bald. You see like there are hairs, spread across your head, and then you're feeling okay with it, right?
Yeah.
Not as good as
and what's your hair loss pattern? How much hair have you lost so far?
Not with 6.
Okay. Yeah. So you basically just want to get the front done, so you got enough hair to style, to comb to the side or brush back.
Correct.
And hopefully the medication can deal with the back or a second surgery down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Yeah. I just want to get that clear, what you meant by an illusion. So you just want to get the front done so you can actually comb it and frame your face and make you look younger. I get it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Not really younger, just whatever my age group is, but some hair. So
you'll look younger. Yeah.
Right. But I've been reaching out to a few doctors and in Chicago area, and I have talked to Dr. Connier, I've talked to Dr. Panin from Chicago Hair Transplant Clinic, and they seem to think that I have a good donor area, I have a good beard donor area, so that could work.
Does Dr. Connier still work? Does he still do surgery?
Yeah, he's booked like solid for 1 year.
Is it he's booked solid or his clinic is booked solid?
I don't know. I think I talked to him over the email, and then he seems to kind of indicate that if I want to get the surgery done with him, I'll have to wait for 1 year.
Okay.
So that's,
until you get the call that there's a cancellation. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. And then the other doctor is Dr. Panin, who seems to have, to my impression, good results. Okay results.
Very good. He has good results. He does really great strip too. Old school.
And but I think between two doctors, Dr. Connier recommended FUT, but Dr. Panin seems to think that I can go either way.
Okay.
Probably can.
And I would prefer FUE because in the future, if I completely go bald, I might go with SMP and then try to look decent that way. But yeah, you just wanted to get your thoughts on what are the other good options within the Chicago area.
Well, here's the thing: if you're doing well right now, you feel like you look better, and you're stabilized. Okay, it's a good opportunity for you to consider surgery if that's what you really feel is going to get you over that finish line and make you feel better. You're in your 40s now?
I'm 43.
43. Okay.
Actually, 42. 42.
Right. Let me ask you this question. You said you have like a veneer of hair. You're able to look good on Zoom calls or whatever. When you live your life, when you're in person, when you see yourself in front of the mirror, when you're not looking at your baldness, but when you're looking at the hair you have and your overall appearance, if you were able to keep what you have right now, would you be satisfied?
I think so. I mean, as long as I make a peace with it, I think so.
Okay. I want you to consider that before you jump into having surgery, because you are in your 40s. You may actually get some more gains in the next, year or so. You still don't know if you're really completely stable. You might want to give it some time. And if you're satisfied with the way you look, if you can go outside and feel comfortable in your own skin and go to work and all that stuff, surgery is always going to be there, man.
Mm-hmm.
So in your position, it seems like you're in a pretty good position. And look, 40s are still young. I'm a lot older than you, but you're at a point in life where it's very acceptable, and you can still be very attractive with thinning hair. You know what I mean?
But I don't really have much of thinning hair. I have like a very, very vague appearance of hair, right? It's not really much of a hair. Pretty much bald from the top. So I think that's what I wanted to get some hair, as I kind of explained to Joe earlier, that, some vague look of hair. So maybe I will get like 2,000 something like that, FUE, and then see how that goes. If it goes well, then maybe look into future procedures. And if I'm satisfied with those 2,000, I might not go for future surgery again.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this. I mean, both clinics that you're looking at are known to be good at what they do. I like clinics that can offer you options based on experience, not just options because they want to try to sell you something. So if you have a clinic that, like Dr. Praneen, where he's offering you, he thinks you can go either way, strip or FUE. We know he's got long time strip experience and FUE experience, so that's good. You don't want to push yourself to do something or to go in a direction that you're uncomfortable with. That's all I'm saying. So, well, I know Dr. Conyers' clinic and Dr. Conyer himself are doing, really good strips for a very long time. If that's all he's offering you, ask him why. Get an idea of why that's the case, and then talk to Praneen again. And then, you might want to go for a third or fourth consultation. Now, the beauty of doing that is, at least in today's environment, you can do some online stuff just to kind of get an idea. So what I would suggest you do is not necessarily be that concerned about, geography, but go to either iahrs.org and check out some of the doctors on there, or you can go to Joe's site, Hair Transplant Mentor, check out some of the doctors on there, and get some consultations.
Right. I think I have a family, so I can't really travel that far. Can't really take any time off. It'll be a lot better if I stay local. So that's why I'm kind of looking in the Chicago area. I thought there'll be good doctors in the Chicago area. I think these both doctors seems to be good.
They are.
From what I have.
Those are. You asked for other choices. Those would be the guys in the Chicagoland area that I would say you're going to have the best possible luck with.
Right. And Dr. Conyer, for your information, Dr. Conyer kind of mentioned that Dr. Shapiro's research that, if you start with FUT procedure, you get a longer lifetime hair transplant, something like that. Lifetime hair.
There's no such thing.
Loss.
There's no such thing. I would say that if you're going to have more than one procedure and you're willing to have a strip scar in the back of your head, then you should do strip first.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do FUE and then strip. So if you are interested in having a strip, if you're like, okay, you know what? I can live with a strip scar. I know that it's a more invasive procedure. You're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to get the most DHT-resistant hair. The sweet spot, 100% of the hair is going to be able to be moved. And if you need a lot of hair to be moved, that is absolutely the way to go. But if you're adamantly against strip, then to go in and have FUE first and then think, well, you know what, I didn't get enough of what I wanted. Now I'm going to do strip. You're going to have less hair that can be utilized. You can possibly damage adjacent hairs once FUE grafts are removed. You can never have that beautiful 100% virgin strip ever again. So if you're going to have a strip procedure at any time in your life, the first procedure is the way to go, in my view. I don't know, Joe, what do you think?
I agree 100%. I mean, I've been through like, I use myself as an example. Like, if you're going to if you want to include strip in your routine, strip out first. Maybe not strip out. Like, you don't have to, go until you can't go and have any more strips and then switch over. But if you do want to maximize the total potential number of grafts that you can get in X number of surgeries, it's still my opinion that in general you can get more hair over the number of times that you have hair restoration surgery if you do start out with strip. And like Spencer said, like, if you look at anyone's donor area, there's always a sweet spot. Just right in the occipital and in the bilateral donor zones where it's only a few inches wide, and when you take a strip, you're going right through that sweet spot where the hair is the strongest, where the density is the highest, and you're getting every bit of hair that's inside of that strip. If you go through that sweet spot with FUE, you have to space them out, and you're only getting a small percentage of that sweet spot. And for each hair that's being removed, on a 1-to-1 ratio, there's a gap. There's a little scar where it was removed, and you're effectively reducing the density in that sweet spot. So if you go back through it with a strip later, you're not going to have the healthy harvest that you would have if you started out with that strip.
And you're also dissecting around scar tissue, so it's very possible that some of the hairs can be, slightly, just what is it, denuded? Can be, is that the word? Is that the right word? Mm-hmm. Basically, slightly damaged. Now they may be growing decently out of your donor currently, if they were damaged, but once they're moved, they could be much more fragile, and they may not grow once they're placed. There's always a possibility of that. So you want to get 100% of that strip. Most people aren't going to tell you that because I don't know why, to be honest with you, because there's not a lot of honesty in this field. But if you are considering a strip at any time in your life, your first surgery, that should be the way to go. Now, if I would have had a hair transplant 10 years ago, and if I would have had FUE 10 years ago, I can tell you now, I started the show off by telling you guys this. My donor area, I don't want to touch myself. In the Jewish religion, that basically you're cursing yourself, which is fucked up that I still have that in my brain. But anyway, if I would have had FUE 10 years ago, and they would have taken from all over the sides, the back of my scalp, there's no doubt I would have had miniaturized hairs that were transplanted, because my donor area 10 years ago was from top to bottom, thick as hell. Now, it looks great. It looks fine when I dry my hair. But when I come out of the shower, I could see it's thinner. I could see through it more. Maybe not in the exact perfect sweet spot, but over and under. So as you get older, even if you don't lose that hair, some of it thins and miniaturizes. So hairs that are moved to a place where they claim is going to grow for a lifetime, they won't. Don't mean to bring you down, dude. Just telling you the truth.
No, makes sense. I think I got that advice from a lot of other places as well. And I am kind of scheduled with Dr. Shapiro as well for consultation. So let's see what they have to say. Based on their website, they say that, FUE is as good as FUT. But I think the other factors that you mentioned, those are important, right? You get a healthy hair with the FUT if you go the first time.
Yeah, they're allowed. They're certainly allowed to say that it's reasonable to say that FUE can, especially in today's standards, can be as good as FUT as far as being able to move hair, being able to make the hair, survivable and all that shit. But you can't move as much hair. It just can't be done. You want a solid hair transplant where if you have to move, 10,000 grafts in your lifetime, if you move them all via FUE, they're not all going to last. Now, if you're very young and you decide to have that done and it gives you 20 years of a solid head of hair and you're happy with that, then that's reasonable as long as you know that you're going to hit a wall eventually. But at your stage in life, man, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go all FUE unless it was a small procedure and you weren't considering having a strip. Yeah. All right, man? Let us know what Dr. Shapiro says.
Definitely. I will. One more question. So, Dr. Panim made a statement that the transaction rate for FUE is not as high as compared to FUT. He's saying most of the information on the internet is not as latest as it should be. He's saying kind of you can almost guarantee 95% of the hair can be successfully transferred without any transaction at all.
Well, it's possible, but no one really fucking knows because none of these guys are really counting. They think they are.
Mm-hmm. He said FUE has a higher... which one did he say has a higher transaction rate?
So I was asking, FUE seems to have a higher transaction rate So
Yeah.
which one he's recommend? He's like, that's not really latest and greatest information on the internet. It's just, 95% of the hair can be successfully transferred without any issue.
There's old school dogma where everyone was like, yeah, you can't, there's much greater transection rate with FUE, but the truth was at the time there was because no one knew how to fucking do it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Now,
They were lazy. They didn't want to learn.
Yeah, and it's fairly equal, give or take. Like I still think FUT in the right experienced hands compared to FUE in the same hands. Like if they're just as experienced with FUE, I think that FUT will have still a slightly higher survival rate only because there's less physical contact as opposed to FUE, and you want to reduce physical contact using your surgical tools to the follicle as much as you can. But like Spencer said, like no one's actually counting. Like they may have counted a few times in a few cases, but I guarantee you every doctor, like find me a doctor that counts every case or even takes a sampling every month of a few cases and does an actual examination to count those hairs. You won't be able to. They don't exist. They may have done it a few times, but what they're doing now is they're just eyeballing it and they're saying, yeah, it looks like about probably close to 100, maybe 95%.
And it's funny. 95% of these so-called studies are all done, and they're basically printed or published in an industry, like a trade paper. It's not even a journal. Something called the Hair Transplant Forum International. The whole fucking thing makes me laugh. And then people will put that on their websites like they were published by a journal. It's an industry. It's a trade paper that takes advertising. It's unbelievable to me. So we gave you a lot of good information. You've done your due diligence. You're speaking to two really good clinics and two good doctors. So you're ahead of the game right now. See how you do with Dr. Shapiro. See what he has to say. And let us know. We're going to take another call. All right, man?
Thank you so much for all the information.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Good
Thanks for
luck.
calling.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, you're on the air, man. Someone's laughing. Is this going to be a prank call?
Yes, it is, because it's Morty from Brooklyn.
Fucking Morty pranking the calls. Laugh. What are you laughing at? What are you sitting there with John Cole?
Nah, man, he's on his way to Turkey, actually.
Yeah, I know you're
fucking home. Huh?
Dude, your phone is all fucked up.
Oh, it's because it's windy out here. Hang on, is this better?
Keep talking.
Better?
Morty,
Yes,
we
yes.
can't hear you, man. We're gonna have to hang up.
Hello, Morty. Morty, what happened to
Can you hear
him?
me? Oh no!
Fucking guy.
No, and then I have to wait again.
What's going on?
So, question for you. So, do you think that if Vladimir Putin had better hair, he wouldn't have invaded the Ukraine?
Oh my God, we're not allowed to even speak about this guy.
I think he had too much face work.
Well, let me tell you about that guy. That guy doesn't need hair, nor does he care about it.
That's true. I mean, the fucking guy, he rides shirtless on a fucking horse and shit.
Damn right. He's one of the richest men in the world.
If not
well,
the
I can
richest.
tell you that Zelensky has better hair, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's very youthful. And I got to tell you, guy's a fucking hero.
Who, Zelensky? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking... He's well, it's amazing. He's Jewish. You know that, right?
Of course I know that. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm blown away. First of all, the fact that he managed to get, the whole story that he was an actor.
He was a comedian and an actor.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He used to be on a TV show where he played the part of a president who became a president by accident.
I didn't know that.
He actually has his own production company, and that was his show. Like he wrote the show. Like he's pretty big in in the local market for film and television. So he's not just some stand-up comic. He's actually got his own production company, and he's pretty big in that area. And yeah, he was so popular playing the president that he was pushed to actually run for the presidency, and here he is now. So. Yeah, it's a fascinating story. Fascinating story.
Yep.
Well, we're not going to talk about it too much, but what's fascinating is like when we see our guy in that podium, I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck? You talk about the emperor has no clothes. I mean, people have to be like,
yep,
what the fuck is going on here?
You know what's frightening is that we had Afghanistan. Now we have this, and it's just like it's not even a year yet.
Well, what do you think that is? I don't want to get into it, Morty.
Let's not get into it.
I don't want to get into it, but we know why that is.
I'll leave it alone.
And you know what? I'm taking Mandarin lessons. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh goodness!
I'm not going to be left behind like all you motherfuckers. I mean, first it was the metric system. I didn't want to learn that. That was fucked up.
Oh my God!
You had to learn it, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're working with doctors and stuff. They don't mess around with imperial units.
He lives in Canada.
I live in Canada.
Per square inch. Oh, that's also true.
I live in Canada,
well, you're
dude.
an American, so you were forced to you decided to go up there, so it's your own fault, man.
Dude, do you see that fucking money? You ever see Canadian money? It's ridiculous.
It actually smells like maple syrup.
The fact that you live there, man, it's shocking. Anyway, go ahead.
It's so beautiful, man.
So good news about my the state of my hair. So my sister and I had a huge fight, and she started getting really upset with me, and she started yelling at me about stuff that happened when I was 7 years old. So I'm taking this as that I must be looking younger because damn.
Huh. What you
So
do?
was this your sister or your wife?
No, my sister. This is my sister.
Bringing up stuff from when you were a kid.
Sometimes it's the same thing.
Yep. So I must be looking younger. That's all I got to say.
I'm glad.
I'm very happy about that. Yes. Yeah. What else can I tell you? So I had my bloods done, and a certain doctor that you and I know would like me to consider something called testosterone pellets, and I wanted your opinion.
Oh my God.
Spencer?
You know what? All right. If you want to lose whatever hair that you have, go for it.
That was one of the concerns, yes.
I mean, I can't even believe that a certain doctor that I know, after everything that you've been through, would suggest that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
And the certain doctor that I know is very new in this space when it comes to testosterone replacement therapy. And all these guys prescribe essentially the same fucking amount, you know, and you go in there, you fucking take the pellet. It's the whole thing is, listen, I would love to do it. I always say this, I would be so jacked with just a little bit of a boost.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take the chance. Now, I have spoken to some guys where there's a certain balancing act. You take very small dosages instead of taking it like these guys try to get you whatever, do the pellets and then or inject it every 2 weeks. Maybe micro injections, you know, like in your
stomach. Pain in the ass anyway.
In your stomach a few days a week.
Sticking a needle twice a week. Ugh, who wants to do that? Ugh.
I would do it in a second. I got no dude. I would be full blown Diana ball if it wasn't for my hair at this stage of my life. I'd be walking around like the fucking Rock.
Goodness.
What do I got to lose? I don't know how much more time I have left.
There is that, yes. Well, I've never seen you shirtless, Spencer, but you look good on camera, so we'll just leave it at that.
No homo.
You haven't gone full Putin yet.
No.
I just want to make sure I look good in my casket. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, if that's what matters, then you can let your hair go because in the casket they can slap a fucking rug on you. Nobody's going to touch it.
That's true, Joe.
When I'm in the box, everyone's going to touch my hair. They'll be like, "Finally, I get to test it."
Dude, I'm getting cremated.
If I'm wearing a wig, then it's all over the papers.
I'm getting cremated just so no one can touch my hair.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Oh my God. Anyway, that was the call. I'll let you take some more serious calls.
Thank God. All right, Morty.
Take it easy.
You take care. Don't take that shit.
Thanks, man.
I won't.
Bye.
All right, later.
Later.
Good night.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Spence. Hey, Joe. This is Bruce calling in Houston. How you doing?
Bruce, what's happening, my man?
Bruce! How's it going?
Oh, it's going great, man. Yeah, I've been trying to get in earlier last week, and then today I finally got in. But I did go up to Plano last week, and it was just most pleasant consultation that I've ever been to.
Say that again?
Guys,
Joe cut you off. I couldn't hear you.
That's okay. When I went up for the consultation in Plano with Dr. Yaker, it was the most pleasant experience I've ever experienced with the doctor. I mean, he's just bedside mannered everything, his knowledge, and it was just a really good consult, about 45 minutes, and we covered a lot. So, but basically, he came up with a plan, and I didn't realize, he saw the stretch back basically from the prior FET, and he had said that he wanted a game plan like for me to come in for like mid scalp, 18 to 1900, and then come back 4 months to do the donor scarring region later on. So that's what I was kind of considering going through that now. And I took the plunge. I know I've heard you guys talk 1,000 times, but I was that generic finasteride was just, it just wasn't doing me any good, as far as like all these guys talk about side effects, and I don't want to be the last guy. I know y'all get tired of hearing that broken record, but, an older guy, it does affect you in some of those ways. So I switched over his topical that he does.
Okay.
And, I've been on it a couple of weeks, man, and I don't have any problems with it at all, man. I love it.
That's great. Well, I know that he is producing a good product. So, time will tell.
Yeah, every compounding pharmacy has a different bakery, right? But
that's right.
It just feels like it's just. I know this sounds goofy, but just in just a short time I've been using it, it just feels like stronger, more manageable, and everything. So
that's fucking great. I love to.
Very nice.
You got to keep us updated on that because I'm really interested in what he's doing.
I'm not gonna shed anyway because it's all transplanted anyway. So it might miniaturize or whatever, but no, it feels strong. It feels good. If I do go through these two here with him, that'll, like you could tell these young guys, that'll be like 6 for me and 6 and done, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
If it's one of those deals when you get messed up early on, like in the 90s, like I did, then, it's like you don't have a choice but to keep following through because it's, you don't have that choice to go back in time and say, I wish I wouldn't have done this. I could,
Well, that's why your calls are so valuable to the show. Besides, we love hearing from you. There's a lot of young guys who they find us somehow, or they're used to watching other YouTubers or whatever they're looking at on TikTok, and in their mind they're like, it's going to be one and done. I'm going to get this thing fixed, and that's it. And then they hear a story like yours, and the reality is, even today's even worse to some degree, that you could be fucked up. You could not be happy with your decision. You could be shackled, fettered for a lifetime.
Oh you can go on the YouTube and find some horror stories that'll just turn you off completely and make you sick to your stomach.
Yeah.
And I know y'all seen all that stuff too, but
there's this guy, I forget his name, but he's like a fashion guy, influencer type of guy. He's always like, he has like videos on like how to shave your balls and shit like that. Well, he's now signed with Bosley to do like commercials for them. And when you see this guy on the air, especially when I see the TV commercials, I'm like, holy shit. It's just like the same old shit. Why be bald when you can do something about it? You don't have to be bald, guys. Look at this.
Yeah.
You know?
This ain't your 70. Yeah, yeah.
It's just like, fucking, it never fucking changes. And look, I can't blame the guy. The guy's never lost a hair in his life. He doesn't know what the fuck is up, and he's probably getting paid a good amount of money to do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, was getting back to Yaker again, you know, I just was, the drive up there, I was just like 5 hours. I was thinking, man, I kept thinking, well, what am I doing? Am I wasting my time? I didn't think I thought my donor was kind of, you know, weak. But, you know, I do have thick, curly hair. I've had it my whole life. But, you know, he told me, he basically said I had a lot of meat left on the sides and, you know, and that he could he could make it work, you know. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, and he said he could eventually, you know, and he straightforward. He could only probably camouflage 60-70% in the donor scar. And I thought, you know, you got to be realistic about it. You know, you and I, you know, like you're talking about the illusions and this and that. And you know, at my age, 50% would be good, you know.
My whole life's an illusion, man. The comb over, the head paint, you know, the trimming downstairs, everything.
Yeah.
Joe didn't even get that joke.
No, because I just saw in the chat room that it's Alpha M. That's the guy you're talking about before.
No idea. Just I seen him online. He's got a lot of hair, and he talks about shaving his balls.
Yeah, he's been a sellout for a long time.
Yeah,
I didn't see.
Good for him.
Those are your words, not mine.
Hey,
damn
Joe,
straight they're my words.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got just this is a question for both of y'all. So, you know, Mage, you know, I color my hair, whatever. You know, I use a real mild agent. But I read somewhere on the deal about the topical that to stop it a day before you color your hair, and then don't do it a day after. Have you heard anything like that? And I got a second part of that too after you answer that.
Well, that kind of makes sense to me. That when you're coloring your hair, it's an irritant for a lot of people. Even if you do okay with it, you're probably going to be your scalp is going to be slightly inflamed. You know, after the process.
Okay, and then I guess the other question would be, is, you know, I'd already sent an email. I'm waiting on a response. I'll probably get it on Monday. As far as like the procedure, up to the procedure, should I color my hair? Like, I mean, is it okay to still do it a week before? You know, just stay on my normal routine, and then after it's done, I can't remember. I've read over the years, like how long you have to wait afterwards, and I can't remember. I thought it was a few months. I
would talk to Dr. Yaker about it, but Joe knows a lot about hair coloring.
I know nothing about it, except what you told me. But no, I think that if you want to do it a week beforehand, that's fine. Sometimes clinics will actually ask a patient to dye their hair if they're going to be having an FUT surgery, because if they use microscopes to dissect the hair, they need some sort of visual cue that they don't get from white or very gray hair. So yeah, they'll ask you to dye your hair actually even a couple of days before your surgery. But if you do it on your own, like it's just something that you like to do, then a week is fine. And I think it's actually probably best. And then afterwards, obviously talk to Dr. Yaker about it, because you want to follow his recommendations. But in general, I think it's fine to dye your hair 4 to 6 weeks after you have the surgery, because the risk that everyone talks about is harming the grafts. Well, you're not going to harm the grafts because the follicles are in your skin. They're down there about 3 to 4 millimeters, depending on the way your surgery's done and how long your follicles are. But hair dye doesn't absorb into your skin that deep, and it's not something that anyone should really be concerned about. Follow your doctor's instructions, but that's my take on it.
Yeah. So going back to what you said, you were talking about FUT. Like FUE, it's not as important to dye, is what you're saying, a color. Is that what you kind of were what you meant earlier when you said FUT was, because of the dissection under the microscopes. But FUE, let's say a guy does have gray or white hair and he didn't color, then he would be okay on an FUE procedure.
No, it does help with FUE, but it's much more advantageous for FUT.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something just a second ago about going 3 millimeters deep. But I thought they went like 1.5 millimeters nowadays. Do they go that deep?
No, that's how deep you go with tattoo. With hair transplant surgery, when they're making the incision or the excision of the graft for FUE, or if they're making the incisions to place any grafts in the recipient area, wherever that may be, it depends on if they know what they're doing. Like this is the fine minutia difference between clinics. Some will make the incision the same length of the follicle. Some will make it a bit shallow, more shallow than the length of the follicle. Some will be a bit deeper. But the ones that do it right are in the range of roughly how long that follicle is, depending on the tool they're using. And that's on average about 4 millimeters deep, sometimes 3, but usually about 4, depending on ethnicity and curl. But yeah, it's usually about 3 or 4 millimeters.
So that
remember, it's surgery.
Right. And that makes sense. Why, like you said, afterwards 4 to 6 weeks, it'd be safe to color your hair again. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not getting that deep as far as the dye goes.
Yeah.
All right, Bruce. Well, I'm glad you had a good consultation. I'm glad that you feel comfortable moving forward. I'm very interested in knowing if his topical. I mean, I'm glad that you're feeling good on it right now. But if it's having any effect, that would be great, because I feel pretty good about what he's offering his patients, and I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm impressed, and it's not a sales deal with him. He's legit and sincere about it, and he has a lot of compassion, like you said. So yeah, I'll let you know at my age if I'm shooting ropes in a few months again. No, that'll never happen again.
You never know, dude. Come on, you're depressing me. You're not that old. You're younger than me. How old are you?
I'm 55, man. That's never going to happen again for me.
Dude, what are you eating?
That's not going to happen.
You must be eating like shit.
Oh, shit. You tell me you're shooting ropes.
Dude, the only reason I'm not shooting ropes is because I'm on this fucking drug. But,
I'm not telling you anything.
They're close to ropes sometimes.
Well, why don't you get off of it for a month and see what you can do?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Never going to happen, dude.
I don't know.
I read in the comment section that finasteride was on, or Proscar was on back order. I called my pharmacy. I'm like, what the is this true? And they're like, not for us.
Yeah.
I just ordered some.
Joe called him and told him to tell you that.
I'm hooking it up. I'm just like, you know what? I better get it. Even though I know I don't like to fuck around with expired Proscar, I know it actually works. I mean, it's going to last forever. So I'm going to stock up just in case. Yeah. And who knows what's happening now? With this thing with Russia, I got to make sure that I am hooked up.
How many months are you allowed to? I thought it was just 90 days.
Well, here's the thing. I actually, because I only take about 1 pill a week, I can get.
Oh, I got you.
I can get what I need, and I can stock up. But so one bottle lasts, I mean, on average, it used to last about 30 odd weeks, 30 weeks, right? Now it's a little less because I'm taking about every 5 days.
Oh, okay. 1 milligram?
5 milligrams.
Oh, 5. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that's what they used to give prescribed for the BPH, right? 5.
Yeah. I got a prostate the size of a pea.
Well, that's good.
So.
I don't believe it, but that's good.
It's the truth.
He checks it every day to make sure.
It's the truth. I actually had a urological issue recently that has, thank God, gone away. And they were like, it sounds like enlarged prostate. They checked that. They're like, your prostate's tiny. And it ended up being like a muscular thing in my abs.
It must be. It was either last week or the week before. That old gal that came to your door, did she check it for you?
Hey, you know what, man? I'm not into that. No homo.
Ding dong.
Just kidding, man.
I'm old school.
Oh, yeah.
I'm old school. I'm like, don't people just fuck anymore? All right, Bruce.
Do. Yeah.
All right, dude. All right. You sound good. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I'll let you know how it's going with that and the surgery and all that too.
All right. Perfect.
Oh, right on.
I'll give you
yeah, good.
Yeah. Stay in touch. Take care.
Y'all have a good.
All right. You
Yes,
too.
sir.
Bye-bye.
See you, buddy. Okay.
Joe's got to go.
Gotta go, man. Gotta check on my dog.
Okay. All right. Let me. All right. Phone's off, guys. Joseph Tillman, please give out the websites.
The websites, if you're looking for surgery, if you've already stabilized your hair loss and you're ready to make the next step, you feel it's right for you, look to the IAHRS.org, not the IAH, but IAHRS.org, International Alliance of Hair Restoration Surgeons. They're not perfect. I mean, they're human too. It's why it's called the practice of medicine, but it is a safe place to start. Great selection of doctors, and they are... it is the baseline for what I look for when doctors apply to work with me and to be accepted as hairtransplantmentor.com doctors as well, which is my website where you can see my personal story and doctors I work with and the world's largest and most comprehensive terms and definitions for hair loss and hair restoration terminology. There's also American Hair Loss or AHLA.org, American Hair Loss Association. It is the de facto standard reference worldwide with mass and big media.
It's American. It's AmericanHairLoss.org.
Yeah.
That's it. Not AHLA.org.
That's what I said.
Not American Hair Loss Association.
Oh.
It's AmericanHairLoss.org. We are the American Hair Loss Association.
He's so picky. It is the de facto reference. So if big media like Wall Street Journal or ABC News is looking for validation of anything that they're saying, they'll look to American Hair Loss Association and talk about it as seen or as confirmed by the American Hair Loss Association. Check that out. What else is there? There's apetogentleman.com for the UK version of The Bald Truth with Spencer Kobren and Spencer Specs Stevenson. They put out some great content lately, so check that out as well at apetogentleman.com. What else? What am I missing? A great supporter of our show. Really appreciate him being on board and streaming this program on his website. That is hairlosscure2020.com. Great supporter of the website, and we're glad he's on board. And of course, if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or iTunes or anything like that, you can also check us out on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/hairtransplantmentor. Back to you, Spencer.
And that is the operative word, podcast.
Podcast.
Guys, listen, thank you so much for hanging out. It was a fun show. I appreciate all of you guys calling, and I'm sorry that not everyone can get through, but that's a high-class problem when you're doing a call-in podcast. Actually, it's a live stream. That's also a podcast. So until next week, be strong, God bless, and thank you so much for listening. Take care.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the programme, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid.